Who was Azie Faison, the man who introduced Harlem to cocaine in the 1980s and ruled for 5 years with his two friends Alpo Martinez and Rich Porter, and is the only survivor. His life is portrayed in the movie Paid in Full. Faison was born in Harlem, New York City on November 11, 1964. He lived with a single mother and older sister in the neighborhood until the 1970, where he aged at 6 a fire destroyed his house. The family were then forced to relocate to the Sugar Hill neighborhood in Harlem, New York. Faison, who struggled academically, dropped out of high school following the 9th grade and worked at several odd jobs around Harlem, including a 2-year stint at the local dry cleaners. He looked to the gangsters through the window from the dry cleaners, driving expensive cars and dreamed of a lifestyle like that. After attending a screening of the 1983 film Scarface, Faison was influenced to enter the drug trade, and then later that year established a working relationship with a local Dominican supplier who would frequently go to the dry cleaners. Faison would then become introduced to cocaine and would become one of the first distributors of the drug within New York in 1984. By the time he turned 21, Faison would transition into becoming the cocaine wholesaler in Harlem, reportedly earning $40,000 a week or more. He would eventually expand operations until 1990 and became one of the most notable distributors during the war on drugs era in the United States. During this, he will become reintroduced to Rich Porter, a childhood friend who lived in the neighborhood prior to serving a sentence in prison. After his release, Porter would introduce Alpo Martinez to Faison, and the trio worked to expand operation in order to rise and become the largest distributors of cocaine in the state of New York. They made a lot of money and were ghetto superstars, driving luxury cars and wearing expensive jewelry. However, Faison's downfall began in 1987, after he was a victim of attempted murder in August after a robbery went awry, which left 3 people dead and 3 others seriously injured. Faison was shot 9 times in the robbery attempt and caused the drug network to falter as he aimed to recover from his injuries. This caused several strains in the relationships between Faison, Porter and Martinez, with the latter eventually murdering Porter in 1990, and while later being arrested and convicted for a plethora of charges in 1991. Alpo killed Porter because of greed. After Porter's death, Faison effectively retired from drug dealing and adopted a mission to steer youth away from the lure of drugs. In 1989, he formed a rap group called Mob Style, which then transitioned into a conscious hip-hop group. They released an album in 1991, while Faison also released a solo album. Faison also aimed to extend his outreach through television and media, eventually working on an autobiography movie. The movie, titled Paid in Full, was released in 2002, with Faison being portrayed by Wood Harris. Faison also collaborated with street documentary Troy Reed in order to produce a documentary about his life called Game Over, while also working with Azie Faison Jr in order to write Game Over, the rise and transformation of Harlem Hustler. On October 2021, Alpo Martinez was shot dead in Harlem. He was sitting in the 2017 Dodge. He was killed by Shaquem Parker, so Azie Faison is the only survivor from the 3 gangsters.